Hello, my name's Sharon Stanford and welcome to this dream webinar. And the webinar has come to fruition because a couple of people have asked me over the groups, can you tell me what this dream means, or can you tell me what that dream means? So who am I? Well, my name is Sharon Stanford. I'm born and living in Australia. I have 3 dogs, a cat, a bird and a partner. Sometimes things are in that order. And I love watching science fiction films and drinking hot chocolate in the winter. And at the moment it is sweltering in Brisbane, so I'm just dreaming of winter. Also, who am I? I have 25 years in the esoteric field, working with forces and energies. I have over 30 years in the business world. So I'm a teacher, mentor, guide and friend. I'm an esoteric kinesiologist. That means that I deal with the hidden side of kinesiology, which is the link between your physical body, your emotions, your mindset issues and your soul, and bring them into alignment. And I'm an intuitive business consultant. And I also do dream interpretations. So what is a dream? Dreams are images and imagery, thoughts, sounds and voices and sensations you experience when we sleep. They can include people you know, people you've never met, places you've been and places you've never even heard of. Sometimes they recall events that happened earlier in the day. They can also be your deepest and darkest fears and secrets and your most private fantasies. So what is a dream? Dreams feel like a representation of real events that occur when we sleep. And there is no limit to what the mind can experience during a dream, and really no rhyme or reason to what you end up dreaming about. Stresses in your waking life can manifest in dreams plainly or be heavily disguised with imagery. And towards the end of this webinar, we're actually going to go through a whole set of imagery. So why do we dream? Well, there's many theories about why we dream, and no one actually knows for sure, although there's been a lot of very learned people who have taken some very intelligent guesses. Some researchers say that dreams have no purpose or meaning, and they're nonsensical activities of the sleeping brain, where other researchers say that dreams are necessary for mental, emotional and physical health, and they create more space in your head. So what does dreaming do? In one study, researchers woke subjects up as they were drifting off into REM sleep. Now, REM sleep is called rapid eye movement, and it's the time of sleep where your eyes move around and you dream. They found that those who were not allowed to dream experienced an increase in tension, anxiety and depression. They had difficulty concentrating and tended to hallucinate. They had a lack of coordination, weight gain, and many experts say that dreams exist to help solve problems in life, to incorporate memories, and to process emotions. So what we can say is that if you don't dream, then basically you go crazy. And there's many experts now who say that dreams are about processing and problem solving. So the psychological reasons for dreaming. Well, Dr. Freud, believes that dreams are a window into our subconscious. He believed that they revealed a person's unconscious desires, thoughts, and motivations. Can dreams really predict the future? Well, there's many instances where people have dreamed an event and seen it come true. The skeptics call it coincidence, faulty memory, and an unconscious tying together of known information. I like to call it tuning into the energetic spirals of time. So what can help you dream? Well, see, we all do dream, but not everybody remembers. Some people just sleep so deeply that they never remember their dreams, but we do all dream. So you need to set your intention before you go to sleep. Say, in the morning, I will remember part of my dreams. And keep a dream diary. A dream diary is where you actually write down every morning anything that you remember about dreaming. go to sleep, and wake up at the same solar time. Now, what is a solar time? A solar time is a time of where the sun is. So, for example, in Queensland at the moment, the sun is getting up at around about 5 o'clock in the morning. So if I had a regular time of getting up an hour after sunrise, it would depend on the time of year as to what time I actually got up. The closer to winter, the later I would get up on our clock time, but it would stay the same as solar time. And the same when I go to sleep. If I want to go to sleep 3 hours after sundown or 4 hours after sundown, then I keep that rhythm going. See, sleeping and waking has to do with the sun. So we were traveling on solar time. Find someone to wake you up during REM sleep. Now, I'm not saying every single time. And as we've said before, if you keep waking up during REM sleep and don't sleep, you've got some big problems. But every now and again, just get your partner or someone you know to wake you up during your REM sleep and very quickly say, where are you? What are you doing? How are you feeling? In a non-threatening way. What it will do is it will start to bring to your consciousness that where you are when you're asleep is actually important. And don't forget to relax. The more uptight you are, then your mind tends to go, this must be something I shouldn't do because I'm really stressed and uptight about it. So just relax and know that dreams are actually going to come. I've got a list here and some suggestions of crystals, gems, oils and herbs that may be of interest to help you dream. So before you go to sleep, hold your crystal or your gem in your left hand, which is your feminine side, which is your passive dreaming side, and say, my dreams will be clear to me when I awake. If there is anything that you need an answer to, you can add, and I will have clarity around, and say what the issue is. Then you place the stone or gem in your pillow slip or on your bedside table and go to bed. Oils can be used in the same manner, either neat or diluted, on the skin or on some material. Be aware that some oils will stain your material, and of course, no going to sleep with burning tea lights. They do have a habit of jumping out. Some crystals that you might be interested in. Malachite. Malachite emotionally stimulates inner imagery, making your dreams, imagination and memories more alive and real. It's been known to keep nightmares at bay as well. Cristophase is another alleviator of recurring nightmares, particularly in children. But it helps remember dreams by making conscious what was unconscious, and that's what we're trying to do with the dream. We're trying to reach into our unconscious with our conscious mind. Solarcite helps you sleep by promoting your inner peace and deep relaxation, and it enhances your dreaming state, facilitating dream recall, lucid dreaming, and restful sleep. Lucid dreaming is when you have those dreams where you actually feel like you are in a place. You're totally there. It's like you've left your body to dream. Amethyst is a dream stone, and it helps prevent insomnia. So what you do with amethyst, and quite often it's a purple amethyst, is that you would put it in your pillow. Clear quartz amplifies and is programmable. So you can hold clear quartz and you can program it with your intention, and it will amplify whatever it is that you want. So clear quartz is a great crystal for holding in your left hand and saying, I will remember my dreams in the morning, because you've programmed that you will remember your dreams in the morning into the quartz. Now, oils. Frankincense essential oil gives you the clarity of dreams and the ability to recall dreams. So with the frankincense, because it is a heavy oil, you could put it on a tissue or something like that, something soft, a piece of soft material, and just waft it under your nose and smell it before you go to sleep. You could then just put it in your pillow slip or beside your bedside table. It is a strong smelling oil. Rose essential oil encourages positive dreams. So if you're trying to work out what it is that's positive in my life, rose essential oil could sometimes help. Cedarwood essential oil promotes focus and wisdom. So it helps you in your dream to focus on what's happening. So if you have a problem and you want to take it into your dream to find the solution, cedarwood oil is exceptionally great for that. Orange essential oil removes anxiety around dreaming. So it puts you into a more relaxed state to remember your dreams. Now you can make a mixture. If you had these oils, rose, mugwort, hops, lemon verbena, lemongrass, jasmine, etc. Or what is quite often a lot easier is just use a branded dream enhanced mix. doTERRA, Young Living, there's quite a few different mixes around that you can get hold of that have to do with sleep and with dreaming. You could also try using an oil blend if you can find one that has to do with enhancing psychic abilities, because what you're doing is you're reaching into your astral or mental mind, which is where the images are. Now let's have a look at herbs. Now these are 3 suggestions for different uses of herbs, but always err on the side of caution when looking at the dosage and do your research. The first one is angelica. Traditionally, smoking the leaves of angelica gives you visions. So growing angelica and then putting the leaves out to dry in the sun and then grinding them up into some type of leaf form and smoking them can actually lead to visions while you're dreaming. Dandelion root. When you drink ground dandelion root, and it's available from the health food shops and from the supermarket, like you would drink it like coffee, it enhances divination and psychic powers. It doesn't have caffeine in it, so you could drink dandelion coffee, which is sometimes what it's known as, before going to bed. Cinnamon. The cinnamon sticks themselves, burned, raise spiritual vibrations and stimulate psychic powers. So cinnamon itself, like what you can see when you go to the herb at the supermarket or at your health food shop, you break that up and you put it on a charcoal block. Charcoal blocks are those little brown blocks that they use in churches that make everything smell so incensey, and they waft it around everywhere. And you can buy charcoal blocks either at some incense places, church supply stores where it was very cheap to buy it, some alternative shops. Just ask around and you'll find them. In Australia, we have something called Loot, which is a chain store. They sell charcoal blocks as well. Now, when you're burning, drinking or smoking, what you want to do is get something that is organic. You do not want the taint of pesticides coming and fertilizers coming in to what you're actually ingesting or using for divination. So dream interpretation, assigning the meaning to your dreams. Acquiring the ability to interpret your dreams is a powerful tool. And in analysing your dreams, you can learn about your deep secrets and your hidden feelings. Your dreams are reflections of yourself and they belong to you. So dream dictionaries can be of some assistance in a general way, but the real nitty-gritty of understanding what your dream means will always come down to you, your personal circumstances, and the context of the dream in your waking life. For example, I absolutely adore snakes. I think that they're so beautiful and soft, and I just love it when you have a snake choose to just curl itself around you. I feel it's very comforting. My partner, on the other hand, was raised in a place where there were a lot of vicious snakes and aggressive snakes, and she's absolutely terrified of them. So when I dream of snakes, I'm dreaming of comfort. When she's dreaming of snakes, she's dreaming of fear. So it comes down to what your personal circumstances and the context of your dream. So what is a symbol? A symbol is a representation of an idea, concept, or article. And here's some examples. Road signs. You have a symbol that's maybe got a circle on it with a cross across it, which means usually do not enter. Emojis. They've taken over the world now. The little symbols of the little happy faces or the little fruit or something that's very, very small that conveys an emotion. Words are symbols. Every word that I've used has a meaning. So therefore the word is a symbol of the meaning. Your gestures are symbols. Sometimes if I point in a very direct way, it could tell you to go that way. Pictures can be symbols. Pictures can be pictures of something in the real world, or they could be pictures that someone has drawn. And by concentrating on the picture, you're either transported into that scene, or it may be that it opens a key in your mind to some type of symbolic meaning. Sounds can be symbols. For example, when I run my meditation class on a Tuesday night, I always start meditation off with the sound of a gong, and I always finish with the sound of the gong. That is a symbol to the inner being that this meditation started and that it's finished. Diagrams and drawings and smells can be symbols. If you have been brought up in the Catholic Church or the High Anglican Church, you'll know exactly what I mean. If I burn frankincense on charcoal block, instantly anyone who was brought up with the Catholic religion through the churches will feel like they're transported back to church. So smells are very, very powerful symbols to transport the mind to a different place. In your dreams, these are the ways your dreams talk to you, through signs, words, gestures, pictures, even smells. So let's take a moment to talk about what the group mind is. All souls are essentially one soul, so it's a little bit like drops of water in the ocean. We're all intimately connected. Just as you can't just pull one drop of water out, nor can you actually have the whole ocean, our souls are like that. They're all connected. You can't separate one from everything. Because of this, we have something called a group mind, which is a collective consciousness of a group. We are all in groups, family groups, friend groups, study groups, work groups. The universal symbols tap into an agreement with humanity's group mind. So over the aeons, when the following symbols that I'm going to go through have been in people's dreams, they tend to mean a certain thing. Now, always remember, you may have your own personal experience which gives a universal symbol a different meaning, and that is perfectly fine because it's your mind and your dream. So here we go. Falling. If you're falling, it shows that you have a problem in your life that you cannot see. Pay attention to what is going on and review your past week. If you find yourself exposed or naked, that means you have some anxiety that is not being addressed. It can also mean that you have something in your unconscious that is emerging regarding your shadow self. And your shadow self is that part of you that kind of runs your life in your background, and you bring it forward in order to deal with it. Once you've dealt with it, it means that you can then respond to situations rather than that unconscious or shadow self coming forward and making you react. If you dream of taking a test, be alert to the opportunities your surroundings are offering you. This is interesting because if you're in work and you dream of sitting in a test, it means that maybe there's some work opportunities that are happening that you're not actually seeing. So just be alert to them. Dying. That means that something is about to finish and a new phase is about to begin in your life. This can be really helpful if you've been going through such a hard time, like we sometimes do when we're up-leveling. To dream of dying is like a bit of a celebration. Yay, all the hard times I'm going through at the moment might be finishing soon. Dreaming of meeting someone famous. Depending on who they are, it could mean that you're needing recognition. Sometimes, though, someone famous might mean something else. Like if you dream of Queen Elizabeth and you're English, it could mean that what you're doing is that you're dreaming that there is someone who is ruling your life. Basically, though, it does come down to your needing recognition. If you dream of being chased, now is the time to face the problem you've been avoiding. If you dream your partner is cheating on you, this is usually a cry from your inner self that you're not getting enough attention. Very rarely is it true that your partner is cheating on you when you dream it. If you dream of being late, you have too much on your plate and you need to pay attention to your work-life-me balance. If you dream of flying, you're trying to control things in your life. You need to let go of those things. If you dream you're pregnant, a new activity or phase in your life is about to begin. I'll just go back to flying for a moment. People talk about astral traveling, which is when you're supposedly to have, your consciousness is to have left your body. The thing is that your consciousness is always in two places and in one place. Your consciousness is always within your body and without of your body. You are always connected to a world consciousness. So when you astral travel, you haven't actually left your body. You're just aware of your consciousness being in different places. Driving or being out of control of a means of transport, have a look at your habits. One of them may be starting to become out of control. Cars represent your inner being. Pay attention to emotions. Where are you going and who is with you? Your inner being is trying to tell you something. Pay attention. Trains are an emotional journey, so just enjoy that ride. Lots of people are dreaming of zombies and apocalypses at the moment. This means you're leveling up spiritually. I know it sounds weird to dream of zombies meaning this. And what you once held true is no longer true. So it means that if you're dreaming this, you're just about to up-level spiritually and you're letting the past go. If you dream of houses as another representation of your inner being, look at the condition and what is happening. So how does it help you? Once you are used to asking yourself questions before you sleep, you can ask for direction and clarification around issues. Go to sleep and wait for the answers to arrive. How awesome is that? Disturbing dreams become meaningful if you can interpret the symbols. Your dreams can act as a mediator for messages from your inner being. And a dream diary teaches you the difference between your clearing dreams, the ones that are just clearing through the day and the week and the month's activities, and message dreams. So what if you can't resolve your dreams? You could join the Facebook group. It's called Salient Slumber. You could use your intuitive skills. You can use my intuitive skills as a dream interpreter, and we can examine the symbolism of what message the inner being is bringing forward. If you want to go forward with that, there is a special of a 30-minute dream interpretation for Australian $30. So if you do have one of these dreams that you just cannot work it out, you can always come and talk with me and we can have a look and I can use my intuition to see what the inner being is bringing forward. So now it's time for questions. So, let me have a look. All right, so everyone's unmuted. So are there any questions that we have about this?
I think all the information is really fantastic, Sharon. Thank you so much for putting it together. I guess one thing that really stood out to me, I don't know whether it's more of a question, but you mentioned about cars representing our inner being. And yeah. I had this one car that I owned over 10 years ago, but I still dream of that car whenever I'm traveling somewhere. That particular car is the car that I'm in. I've had a couple of dreams where it's been newer cars, but consistently when I'm dreaming, it's that one particular green car.
Was that the first car that you got?
No, it would have been the third car that I owned, but it was the first car that I bought with my husband.
Okay, so what you're dreaming of, see, your car represents your inner being. It's trying to tell you something. And so because of that representation, it quite often doesn't change. It's like it sticks on one form and it stays there. So when you're traveling different places, have a look at what part of you, like when you say you're traveling from one place to another, is that like you're going on holidays or something, or you're moving?
No, it can just be, a part of the plot of the dream or the way that the dream unfolds. So sometimes it's kind of insignificant, but the car is there, or I'm in the car at some stage of the dream. And I just always notice that it's that particular car. Occasionally it will be a road trip or something like that, but most of the time it's not a significant part of the dream.
I would say that it's just an indication from your inner being that your inner being is with you through everything that you do.
Yeah.
It's travelling with you. Because it's not hurting you, it's just a way of getting there. So I would say that being a representation, that it's saying that it's there with you. Which is just nice, isn't it?
It is nice.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now because I'm more aware now of those dreams that it's not that car, or it's one of my newer cars. You know, because then that's clearly something happening within me that is trying to tell me something, or trying to bring my awareness to something, I think.
Yeah, so you have a look when you're dreaming of cars that you've owned, or cars, or your family cars. Then you have a look at, well, what are the circumstances that car came into my life? How did I feel about that car when it was in my life? And how did I feel when that car left and was replaced? So it can be that, you know, that car that was with you when you were married, it could be that marriage is a safe haven, or marriage is a connection. Oh, here we go. Marriage is a connection between one and another. So what it's telling you is it's a connection between your upper and your lower self. That's your inner self traveling with you. When you're dreaming of cars since that, again, have a look at that car, and what did that car mean for you? Like sometimes, like I had my mum's car for a while. I bought my mum's car off her, and I let it go into disrepair. So when I dreamed that car, it quite often it represents for me that I'm not paying attention to my relationship with my inner self. I'm letting it fall into disrepair.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So just have a look at, well, what did that car do? I had another car that was something we used to call the Red Rocket. It didn't matter how bashed around it was, the car just absolutely never, ever stopped. It was an amazing car, $500, and lasted me forever. And it was like, that talks about a relationship that just nothing can ever break it. Nothing can ever knock it out.
Yeah. Awesome. I guess the other thing that that I had a question around, and it was interesting to see whether you had mentioned it or not, but when you were talking about REM sleep and the way that the pineal gland has an impact on the way we dream because of the release of DMT in our brains when we dream, and the linkage through to that DMT being produced only when we die, or when we're born, when we die, and then when we dream.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too technical, but I don't mind going into it now, because I didn't want to sort of have a webinar that lasted 3 hours.
Sure.
Yeah, the DMT, it's really important, because what that does is that kicks you into a different spiritual realm. Yeah. It loosens the conscious... See, our conscious mind, in a way, senses our unconscious. And what DMT does is it reduces that censorship, so that, because sometimes images or thoughts or whatever that come through to us, we go, nah, even before we've realised we've thought about it, we go, nah, not true, and just basically press delete. Whereas DMT loosens that control, so that we get to be a little bit freer with our mind. So when we die, of course, we want our consciousness to leave our body. So we want our conscious mind to let go, so that we can then leave, because we don't need this body anymore. And when we're born, we want that consciousness to come into our bodies, but we don't. This tiny little conscious mind is just formed and actually doesn't quite know how to operate. So we're trying to impress on it. And when we're sleeping, of course, we want that connection to be a little looser. Now, the interesting thing is that fluoride actually covers the pineal gland. So if you're drinking fluoride water, showering in fluoride water, you are actually putting, or brushing your teeth with fluoride toothpaste, you are actually slowly putting a shell around your pineal gland, and it'll stop it'll stop working so much. What it's doing at the moment is it's curbing people's imaginations. So the suggestion is to either drink unfluoride water or to get a fluoride filter. The shower you really can't do much about, but if you can shower in non-fluoride water, do it. Definitely have non-fluoride based toothpaste, and to take curcumin, which is a derivative of turmeric. And what curcumin does is it detoxes the pineal gland. So you want to detox that gland, and it will do it slowly. Now, the only time you can't take curcumin is if you are on medication that is reducing the amount of stomach juices that are being produced, because it will actually stimulate their production. If you're on blood pressure tablets, or if you're on some type of tablet to reduce the platelets or to increase the platelets in your bloodstream. Other times they're just the things you've got to watch. So if you're wanting to increase the amount of imagination that you have in your life and wanting to maybe loosen that hold your conscious mind has on filtering your unconscious dreams, then definitely reducing the amount of fluoride in your surroundings and taking curcumin on a daily basis can actually enhance that.
That's fantastic information. I have been focusing on that for a good 5-6 years now, is that slow detoxification, or decalcification, I should say. So, and it's one of my bugbears that I just really gets under my skin, that's so permeated through our societies, and the effect that people don't know what sort of effect that actually has on them. So.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that if you did start to talk about the fact that what it's doing is that it's actually putting limits on people's imagination, dampening their imagination, it's one of those, things that people will call you a conspiracy theorist, even though there is scientific evidence that this is happening. So it's kind of one of those bits of information that gets passed on basically mouth to ear rather than hitting the main media. Yeah.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Good. So I saw you're part of the Facebook group.
Yes.
So what I'm hoping to do is actually start to nurture that group. And I thought it was somewhere that we could actually, I'm going to put up different information about streaming, but also somewhere that we could go and actually share our dreams and learn from each other about dream symbolism and how we pull our dreams apart.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm going to put a link to this webinar in the group now, so that anyone who wants to join the group, they can have a read of this link first and see this webinar first, and then come in and join with us.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a great way of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how other people, use those intentional dreaming processes or the intention setting processes that people use as they are going to sleep. Because I've found that, just sort of changing the way that I approach going to sleep now has changed because I'm actively seeking that guidance through the dream space.
Definitely makes a difference.
So it really does. Absolutely. So it's been a really great tool for me. I know I'm just, using that guidance to, sometimes I just go to sleep and say, so what's next? What's next? What's the next step? And it's a good way of doing it. So yeah, it's really great.
Excellent. Have you got any more questions?
I don't think so. If anything comes up, I can pop into the group and ask. Help start to get some interaction and engagement going in there. But no, there was some really great notes and things that I took down that really helped me to better interpret my dreams. So thank you so much for that.
That's okay. I'm going to take excerpts of this webinar, and I'm actually going to put them in the files of the group too, so we can go back and look at them. All right. I'm going to turn the recording off now. So thank you, everybody, for being part